Today, you could become dinner. Dinner for one of the wild killers of the forest. You are walking through tall grass, and the sun has already disappeared behind the horizon. It is dark around you. The air is getting colder. The birds go quiet, and suddenly, you hear something behind you. You turn around and see two yellow points in the darkness. Someone is watching you. Is this the end? This is not an ordinary lion from a zoo. This is a huge ancient predator, stronger, heavier, and more dangerous than almost anything you can see in modern nature. It has claws, teeth, powerful paws, and a body built for killing. And what do you have? No gun, no knife, no car, no house to run into, no flashlight, no phone, maybe not even a good spear yet. Your teeth are weak. Your nails are useless. You are not the fastest. You are not the strongest. You see badly at night. If this animal decides to attack, you have almost no chance. And yet you are here. You are alive. You are breathing. You are watching this video. That means your ancestors somehow survived in a world where they could be eaten every single day. And here is the main question. How did ancient people survive among the most dangerous predators on Earth? How did a weak creature without claws or fangs avoid disappearing beside cave lions, giant hyenas, saber-toothed cats, wolves, bears, and other killers of the night? The answer is not that humans immediately became the kings of nature. It was the opposite. For a very long time, humans were not the main hunters. They were prey. We are used to imagining ancient humans as brave hunters with spears, walking toward a mammoth and winning, but that came much later. In the beginning, everything was much more frightening. Ancient people lived in a world where almost any place could be a trap. Tall grass could hide a big cat. A tree could hide a leopard. Night could hide hyenas. A cave could be not a home, but someone else's den. A watering place could be where predators waited for victims. Even a simple walk to get water could become the last walk of your life. Today, a person walks down the street and worries about being late, losing a phone, or getting caught in the rain. An ancient person left the camp and was not sure they would return. Children were especially in danger. A child could not run fast, could not defend itself, could cry, could fall behind. For a predator, a small human was easy prey. And ancient people knew this. They saw tracks, they found bones, they lost loved ones, they heard screams in the darkness. For them, predators were not characters in a documentary, they were neighbors, and those neighbors were terrifying. Saber-toothed cats could attack from ambush. They did not need to chase a person for long. They only had to hide, wait for the right moment, and jump. Cave lions were huge and powerful. They could hunt in groups and were not afraid of large prey. Hyenas were not just scavengers. Ancient hyenas could be larger and stronger than modern ones. They could crush bones with their jaws and hunt in packs. Wolves worked together. One wolf is dangerous. A pack is almost a living trap. Bears could be so strong that the only way for a human to survive was to avoid meeting them at all. And in this world, ancient humans looked almost ridiculous. They could not defeat a predator in a fair fight. They could not bite through its throat. They could not outrun most fast animals. They could not climb trees as well as monkeys. They could not see in the dark like cats. They could not smell danger like wolves. If you look only at the body, humans should have lost. But humans did not survive because of the body. They survived because they began doing something other animals could almost never do. They began thinking ahead. The first great human weapon was not the spear. It was fear. Yes, fear. Because fear made humans listen, stop, look at the ground. Remember the places where people disappeared. Avoid water at the wrong time. Not go alone into the dark. Not sleep just anywhere. Not think they were stronger than nature. A foolish, brave person in the ancient world quickly became food. A careful person had a chance to see the morning. Fear was an ancient warning system. It said, "Do not go there. Do not stand with your back to the grass. Do not leave a child alone. Do not ignore a sound in the darkness." Today, we are often ashamed of fear. But for our ancestors, fear was not weakness. It was protection. The second weapon was the group. One person was easy prey. A group of people was something completely different. Imagine a predator seeing one person by the water. That is an opportunity. Now imagine 10 people together. Someone is looking around, someone is holding a stone, someone is carrying a stick, someone is standing near the fire, someone can shout, someone can throw something, someone can wake the others. For a predator, this is no longer easy food. This is risk, and predators do not like risk. Even the most dangerous animals do not want to get injured. In nature, an injury can mean death. If a lion breaks a paw, it cannot hunt. If a hyena takes a hard hit from a stone, it may die later. If a predator understands that the prey can fight back, it often chooses something easier, and this is where humans gained an advantage. One human was not dangerous, but together, humans became loud, unpredictable, and unpleasant to attack. They could shout, wave sticks, throw stones, swing burning branches, stand shoulder to shoulder, protect children in the center, stop the animal from calmly choosing a victim. An ancient group was like a living shield, and the better people stayed together, the better their chances were. That is why loneliness was frightening, not romantic, not peaceful, but deadly. If a person went far from camp alone, they risked never coming back. That is why many important tasks were done together. Going for water, better not alone. Hunting, in a group. At night, closer to the fire. Children, in the middle. Elders, nearby. The weak, protected. Humans did not survive because they were stronger than predators. They survived because they were not alone. The third weapon was fire. Fire changed everything. Before fire, the night belonged to predators. Humans saw poorly in the dark. They heard sounds, but could not always understand where the danger was. They could only hide, freeze, and wait for sunrise. But when people learned to keep fire, they received a piece of daytime inside the night. A campfire gave light. It gave warmth. It made it possible to see each other's faces. It made it possible to notice movement beyond the camp. But most importantly, it scared animals. For many animals, fire was a strange living force. It moved, hissed, crackled, burned, smelled of smoke. It lit up humans and made the camp look unlike ordinary prey. A predator could come close to darkness, but coming close to fire was harder. The campfire created a border. Inside the circle of light were people. Outside was the night. Fire did not make humans unbeatable, but it gave them time, and time is life. With fire, people did not have to simply shake in fear until morning. They could repair weapons, cook food, dry hides, discuss plans, tell children where danger was, remember which animal attacked last time, pass on knowledge. Fire became not only protection from predators, it became a school, because around the fire people talked, and conversations saved lives just as much as stones did. This is where the fourth weapon appears: memory. An animal can remember a dangerous place, but humans could do more. They could tell someone else about it. Do not go to that rock. The water is dangerous in the evening. An animal lives in that cave. If the birds suddenly go quiet, watch carefully. If you hear hyenas, stay closer to the fire. If you find fresh tracks, do not go farther. Each generation received not only its own experience, but also the experience of those who had lived before.
If you watched this far, please give it a like.
That is a huge power. One person could die from a mistake, but if the group remembered that mistake, others could survive. That is how fear turned into rules, rules turned into habits, habits turned into culture, and culture saved lives. Ancient people learned to read the ground the way we read a phone screen. A broken branch, someone passed here. A fresh track, an animal is close. The smell of dead meat, predators may be nearby. Birds suddenly flying up, something is moving. Silence in the forest, a reason to be alert. Tracks near water. Not only plant eaters come here. For us, the forest is often just a beautiful background. For an ancient person, the forest was a book, and in that book, there were warnings. Whoever read the signs better lived longer. The fifth weapon was distance. Humans understood that they did not have to come close to danger. At first, there were stones. A stone can be thrown. It is simple, but important. If a predator comes too close, a stone can make it stop. One stone may not save you, But 10 people with stones are already a problem. Then came sticks, then sharpened sticks, then spears, and at some point, humans gained something predators did not have: the ability to kill from a distance. For an animal, this was deeply strange. Usually, danger is close: teeth, claws, a strike from a paw. But a human could stand farther away and still wound. The spear changed the rules. Now people did not have to grab an animal with their hands. They did not have to come close to its mouth. They could keep distance. They could surround it. They could drive it forward. They could place people on different sides. They could defend the entrance to a cave or a camp. The spear did not instantly make humans the top hunters, but it made them much less convenient prey. A predator looked at a group of people with spears and no longer saw weak meat. It saw risk, and risk often decides everything in nature. The sixth weapon was the plan. Many predators hunt beautifully, fast, strong, precise, but humans began to hunt and defend themselves not only with strength, but with a scenario. One person could walk ahead, others could wait on the side. Someone could make noise. Someone could drive the animal toward rocks. Someone could block the path. Someone could stand with a spear where the animal would run. This was no longer just a reaction. This was a plan, and a plan is something nature was not ready for. A predator attacked with its body. Humans answered with the mind. They could use a slope, stones, fire, a pit, water, wind, noise, darkness, light. They could make a place dangerous for the one who used to be dangerous to them. And little by little, humans stopped being only prey. They became creatures that could prepare a trap. The seventh weapon was endurance. Humans are not the best sprinters. Many animals are faster over a short distance. If a lion charges from close range, running away is almost impossible. If a big cat is already jumping, it is too late to think. But humans were good at something else. They could walk for a long time, a very long time. They could follow a trail for hours. They could run slowly but keep going. They could sweat and cool the body while other animals overheated. For many animals, a long chase is dangerous. They accelerate quickly, but they also get tired quickly. Humans could win not with speed, but with time. This helped in hunting, but it also helped with survival. Humans could leave a dangerous place, move camp, follow herds, go around a predator's territory, return to the group after a long journey. They were not the fastest, but they were persistent. And in a long fight, persistence can matter more than speed. The eighth weapon was care. And this may be the strangest one. In nature, the weak often die. An animal that cannot hunt quickly dies. A predator with a serious injury is almost doomed. But humans began doing a strange thing. They helped those who could no longer get food by themselves: the old, the injured, the sick, children, those who were temporarily weak. At first, this seems like an extra burden. Why feed someone who cannot hunt? Why carry someone who slows down the group? Why care for an old person? But this is exactly where humans became special. An old person could remember places. An injured person could recover. A sick person could later help again. A person without strength could be a keeper of knowledge. The one who no longer runs fast can teach children. The one who does not go hunting can repair tools. The one who has seen many winters can say, "Do not stay here. Last year there were animals here." Care saved not only life, it saved the memory of the group, and memory was sometimes more important than muscle. If an ancient group abandoned all the weak, it lost experience. If a group cared, it became smarter. Humans survived not because they stopped being vulnerable. They survived because the vulnerable were not always left to die. This changed everything. Little by little, ancient people became more dangerous to predators. At first, they feared every sound. Then they learned to stay in groups. Then they mastered fire. Then they became better at making weapons. Then they began making plans. Then they began hunting the animals that had once hunted them. And at some point, the balance changed. Predators were still dangerous. A lone human could still die. A child could still become prey. Night was still frightening. But humans were no longer helpless. If an animal attacked the camp, it could be met with fire, shouting, spears, and stones. If a predator came too close too often, people could leave. If it lived in a cave, people could avoid that cave or try to drive it out. If an animal was wounded, people could finish it off. If an animal threatened the group could make it a target. And this was the moment when the animal that looked weakest began becoming the most dangerous creature on Earth, not because it grew fangs, but because its weaknesses forced it to invent. Humans had no fur, they made clothing. No claws, they made knives. No fangs, they made spears. No night vision, they made fire. No bear strength, they made a group. No cat speed, they made a plan. No memory that could last thousands of years, they made stories. Every weakness became the reason for a new solution, and these solutions piled up. One person found a better way to sharpen a stick. Another understood that fire could be kept alive longer. A third noticed where a predator usually waited for prey. A fourth told the children about it. A fifth made a spear more comfortable to use. A sixth understood how to surround an animal. And after many generations, humans were no longer just victims of nature. They became a force nature had to adapt to. Many ancient predators disappeared. Some could not survive climate change. Some ran out of prey. Some were pushed away by humans. Some were finished off by human hunting. The story was complex, and we cannot say humans alone destroyed them all. But one thing is clear. When humans appeared in new lands, life became much harder for large animals, because humans did not come alone. They brought fire, weapons, memory, language, plans, children they taught, elders who remembered, a group that could act like one creature. A predator could be stronger than one human, but it was not stronger than human culture. And here is the most important thing. Our ancestors did not survive because they were not afraid. They were afraid all the time. They feared the darkness, a growl in the bushes, tracks near water, the silence of birds, a missing child, yellow eyes beyond the fire. But they did not stop. They took fear and turned it into attention. They took attention and turned it into knowledge. They took knowledge and turned it into rules. They took rules and gave them to their children. That is how prey became the hunter. That is how a weak body received a long memory. That is how a small group around a fire survived beasts that seemed unbeatable. Today, we live in a world where most ancient predators are gone. We sleep behind walls. We turn on light with one movement of a finger. We hear a strange sound at night and usually just check our phone. But somewhere deep inside us, that ancient human is still alive. The one who tenses at a rustle in the dark. The one who looks at the forest and feels anxiety. The one who does not like walking alone down an empty street at night. The one who understands darkness was not always empty. Once, something inside it was watching us. You are safe today not because the world was always kind. It is because your ancestors were careful enough, smart enough, and united enough to survive a world that wanted to eat them. They were not the strongest. They became the most dangerous. Around the fire, in a group, with a stone in the hand, with eyes staring into the darkness, and teaching the next generation to do the same.
Now's the time to subscribe to the channel.